Goodness, it has been a while. Hello, and welcome to, I believe, episode 29, which means we're sneaking up. We're sneaking up to almost 30 episodes, which is quite a bit. There's a few updates in between. It has been far too long since I've done an actual, video here. And I want to say I'm sorry, but I really didn't have much to do. The car now is outside in this wonderful cover. This is a sealskin cover, for those who are curious. And honestly, this thing held up really well over the winter. I had it in my 13 by 20, I think this is, Shelter Logic, and man, for a brutal Alaskan winter, which is part of the reason why it took so long for me to actually get this thing back outside, there was snow that was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet tall right here. Yeah, like this probably would have been, anyway. But I pulled it out the other day, took the cover off for the first time in like 6 months, and let it, get some sun. It needed some sun. And then I've been kind of doing some small little projects, and at the time that I was doing them, I wasn't really thinking like, oh, I should film this, because they weren't really anything exciting. But I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go over a few of the things that I did, and then what I'll also do is show you what I have planned for tonight. Have kind of this idea. I hope it works out, and if it does, maybe it'll, I don't know, inspire some of you guys to try something similar. But for now, no one wants to see the car undercover. Let's go ahead and take that thing off. The one thing about this cover is that it didn't have like a hole designated for the antenna. And hindsight being 2020, I don't know if I would have stuck with that original antenna. Like back when I was doing metal work, maybe I should have made it flush and just kind of got rid of it. But then again, it does kind of have that classic look. And I mean, come on, that's too cool. Anyway. I'm not going to pull the cover all the way off. Mainly because I don't want to have to try and set it down, and putting it completely back on is kind of a pain in the butt. But look at this. Now, I will throw a picture of this car in the exact same spot when I first got it nearly 2 years ago. So here we are 2 years later, and this thing is looking mighty fine, I must say. What I'm planning on doing tonight is, if you look closely, especially at this angle, I think you should be able to see the green body color kind of peeking out underneath where the door meets the rocker right there. And part of that was probably my instruction to the paint guy when we were getting this all painted and he shot it. I think our tape to block it off from going inside the doors was just a little too close to the outside, so at just the right angle you can see that green line. So obviously I could just get it painted. Oof. For those of you who haven't seen this interior, it is looking fresh. But one thing that is kind of a, I don't know, bummer is that when we were mounting the doors after we painted the jambs, oops. So my thought is this. Now that I'm looking at it, I do not need nearly as much as I got. I got some flat black vinyl, the same material as, say, the decals, except this is more shiny. My plan is to actually have this decal follow this line, go through and follow it, and that should help not only protect this area, which is gonna get scuffed up anyway, but also kind of help hide that body color. Now obviously the correct thing to do would be to paint this, and to be completely honest, the vinyl is something I can do easily in a night. I don't have to tape anything off, especially since I have the interior all done. And if it ends up not working out very well, I'll just pull it off. It's a sticker. But for now, we'll focus on that. While I'm here, one of the things I did, last year when I put this door panel on, this switch was really sticky. It would work, but you really had to push hard to get it. And so I decided to go ahead and replace it kind of after the fact, but I was kind of in a rush to try and get the interior all together, so I just quickly put it all there. So now I had another good used one, and this is so much easier to press up and down, which is great. Which is good, because another thing I had to take the door panel off for too is I forgot to hook up the rod for this guy right here when I was putting my little locks in. So anyways, that's pretty much all I did to this side. Let's sneak over to the other side. With this side, I never did get this mounted. So I went ahead and had to take the door panel, of course. There is a clip down in there where the cable runs through. And I didn't have one, but the lime green car that I picked up last fall did. So I pulled the panel off, got this all routed, works the way it should. That's good. See, another thing that I did is I had a new disc brake rubber piece, and this bezel had some paint on it, and so I cleaned that up. Actually, you can see where this wear is, but looks much better at least. This is a new rubber and bezel too, so got that taken care of. Anything else inside? I don't think so. I'll throw a picture of it up, but I actually over the winter did kind of repair and restore a rim blow steering wheel. This is what this had, which is still actually a good looking steering wheel. It's got kind of the typical wrap that you'd find from someone, you know, using these over the years. But for me, the 3-spoke rim blow is like the coolest looking steering wheel ever. So yeah, you'll see in the picture. I can explain that. Maybe I'll do it in a separate video next time when I actually physically put it on. I haven't put it on yet because I know that I'm gonna have to do alignment once the engine's in, so I figured I'll just wait until that point, and then when I pop this off to get it straight, I'll put the new wheel on. One thing I noticed, and I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna address it yet, because everything's pretty good on the window alignment, which was a pain if you remember from the other video. But this actually isn't so flush. You might be able to kind of see it right here. And I can actually see through into the interior this way. Now, of course, I don't plan on driving this thing in the rain, but if that day comes, I definitely don't want rain getting in there. So I think I can adjust my striker, and that's gonna push the door in a little bit more to line it up flush with this. The only thing that's kind of a challenge is this gap might change. So I'll play with it. The striker's easy to adjust. Let's see, what else do I have to do? I guess that's it for now. A couple other small things under the hood. I'll pop open the hood later. For now, let's see what we can do about that rocker panel. Of course, so we can tuck it nicely, I'm going to take off the scuff plate here. Why not? These are actually original scuff plates. I did, however, have one that was missing a sticker. I went on eBay and actually found a pretty good replica, I guess. Looks good. One cool thing for those who didn't know, these are actually original pieces that I found from the lime green car. But you can see this kind of helps keep that shape. It's that hard cardboard material. I was actually just gonna make my own, but then when I got that other car, I found out that these had them. I was pretty stoked about that. But I think I found some replicas online. They're ridiculously expensive though for like a piece of cardboard. So this is kind of how it's supposed to be. Knowing where my scuff line is here, I'm just going to kind of basically go up into that a little bit and just leave it there. So next is just cleaning it off. The vinyl guys said some isopropyl alcohol or alcohol would work just fine. And then, of course, actually I'll just get my rough shape real quick. This stuff is 3M wrap film. It comes in 5-foot rolls, I think he said, which should be just... yeah, that'll be plenty. However, I think I didn't need a foot wide each. I need like 6 inches maybe, but I just wasn't sure. Should have taken some measurements first. Anyway. So it looks horrible right now. Still not sure about it, but it is just a sticker. So I'll pull it off if I need to. I've got the rough layout. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off, clean it now that I know that my measuring's good, and kind of go from there. And I might come up right here and do this stretch too. We'll see. Let's just see how this lays out first. Let's try it. Well, I guess we'll get this kind of right here along that edge. I'm just going to work from this forward, and obviously as we go around this corner it's going to want to pull, so I'm going to try and get my bottom line where I want it and go from there. Don't be scared. This is why I did not do my decals. I'm not a decal guy. But this was something that I figured, why not? Right now what I'm trying to do is just get it to where it just covers the green, but not too much. You know what I mean? The guys at the vinyl shop hooked me up with this felt squeegee for this stuff, I guess. That's the way you do it. I'm just kind of going around and working it. Still not sure how much I like this. A little bit of trimming to do. Should be noted that besides putting besides putting like letters on a boat, that is about the extent of my vinyl laying skills. Alright, so first things first, one thing I like is that I can no longer see a green line underneath the door, so that makes me happy. I'll let you be the judge, see what you think. Here we go. I did decide to do one little area up right here too, because you could see the green right there. So more or less, if I would have had this thing painted first, hindsight 2020, I should have painted that stuff black a while back, but you know. This is pretty much what I was kind of thinking about doing anyways, was having it follow these lines. There's a couple different references in some original cars that I've seen where this line ends up going, but there was already like a hard line right here anyways, and so I just followed that. Do I miss seeing body color right there? You only see it when you walk into the car. And personally, what was bothering me more was the big old scuff marks that were there from when we were hanging this door. So, personally, I think it actually turned out better than what I thought it was going to turn out. You know, when I first started laying the vinyl out, I was kind of like, this looks pretty lame. But now that it's on there, and it's like contoured to the car, and the vinyl is super thin, by the way. The thickness of it really came from that. But now that it's in there, it looks really nice. It looks very clean when you open up the door. You know, for me, it was just like you open the door and it's like, boom, scratches, eyesores. And I figured, you know, this is an area where you're just likely to kick the most. And one cool thing about this vinyl is you can heat it up and pull it right back off. And a little bit more forgiving, I suppose, than paint is. So I got this stuff in kind of a matte black. So it looks like it's a slightly less sheen than the actual satin black that I used. But really, it doesn't really matter. You don't notice it. And more importantly, it's just for the sake of keeping my stuff protected. So anyway, that's one side. I think I'm going to go ahead and just carry on to the other side. And then that will be off of my list. I'm pretty stoked about it though, honestly. Much better than what I thought. Let me know what you think. How did you, go about doing this? what were some tricks that maybe you did to make it look good. Let's see here. I guess that'll about conclude this. We'll call that an update. Let's see. While I have you here with me though, let's look at a couple things. These are so cool. Here is an empty engine bay still. I'll go ahead and throw up some pictures actually right now of the updates. So currently, the last I talked to the engine guy, let's see, the block should be all good to go as far as honed out, bored out. Pistons are all assembled. So I think we're hoping to have a short block. It'd be cool by the end of this week. A couple things I didn't hear. I totally left this cast master cylinder over the winter, and man, it looked so bad. And so I just painted it satin black. And because I was bleeding the brakes and some brake fluid dripped onto my power steering gearbox that I actually took apart completely, resealed and everything, it looked all rusty and whatnot. And so that got the satin black treatment. There's a phrase my coworker uses a lot: paint it black, put it back. Anyway, that's been about the extent of my stuff here. I did bolt in my radiator. It was kind of sitting on the ground, and I had this gone through, pressure tested, and cleaned up. And this is an original radiator, I guess. And the guy at the radiator shop said it was in good shape, so I mounted it in here just to kind of get a feel for how things are. Let's see, hooked up my lights, so all my lights work, everything works there. And that's that. So I've just been kind of getting the engine bay cleaned up and ready. It sucks, it used to look really beautiful. All the paint was like nicely fresh black, and just from sitting and all the body work and stuff, well, there you go. Here it is. Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna conclude this with, I'm just glad to be working on this thing again. It feels so good. I got these long nights. I've been being a dad, and that's been awesome. And a lot of my time's been going to that, but I am definitely looking forward to getting this thing done so I can take the family on cruises and we can enjoy it. So here we are, one last little look. Looking good, looking good. Oh, I was gonna make a note while it's fresh in my mind. So these are actually Wheelbin Teak Series 62, I think they are. I had them custom made. They are, let's see, 15 by 10s, but I have a 6-inch backspacing in there. So I can tuck 295 50 15s under there. No rubbing issues, all is good there. The one thing that I did have to do though is remove the rear sway bar, which sucks. It was just rubbing. But honestly, I don't really plan on, doing autocross or anything with this. I'm just gonna enjoy the cruise, so I'm not too worried about having a rear sway bar, to be honest with you. But for those of you who are trying to tuck tires that size underneath, the 6-inch back spacing is definitely key. I'll know more obviously once I'm actually cruising on the road. But one thing I wish I did a video of is all the many hours I spent on this bumper. I do have a couple others, and I'm thinking about making a video for doing one. Yeah, I've got two. Got this yellow one, and I got this pewter silver one. They're quite a bit rougher than the other ones, but I might make a tutorial on how I did that. The collection of goodies. But I do have some good stuff. I wish I could help you guys out and sell some of this stuff to you. Unfortunately, living in Alaska and shipping prices and stuff, it just really isn't logical. So I'll carry on to it for now. This thing is still here. Honestly, this thing has saved my butt a few times. There's been like tiny silly little pieces where I've been wondering, oh no, how does that go, or what does this do? And I sneak on over to that car, I'm like, oh, this one's like that. So anyways, quite a difference though. Yeah, you know what? that black's growing on me. I'm digging it. It actually transitions nicely. I don't know how well it translates on film, but just like since, you know, it was black right there anyways, having it wrap up and in, it looks nice. It looks very clean. All right, I better stop talking, get the other side done. Hopefully the next video you see me is when there is actually an engine in my possession. So until then, thanks for all the support, and carry on into the next episode we go, so we can get this thing done. Maybe we can knock it out before the 40th episode, right? All right, guys, later.